Welcome everyone to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. So this is for Monday, April 24th, 2017. All right, so today we are in the balsamic phase of this lunar cycle, the ending of this last lunar month. We've got the moon in Pisces today. So there's a lot of this lowered energy and intuitive time. With that being said, though, we've got the sun who's recently shifted into Aries. In fact, Aries is going to be the location of the next new moon, which is around the corner a little bit later this week. So, balsamic phase, Pisces, it is really good to allow the energies to die down, get in touch with our intuition, really develop these Pisces qualities further, which we've already developed because we've been experiencing this Pisces, quality for the past 2 months, very much so. But what Pisces is about is essentially acceptance. Right? Having more acceptance in our life, about our life, how things are in the present moment. And through that, finding the peace, the spiritual liberation, the tranquility, the freedom of fully accepting things for how they are. So this can lead to a very developed intuition. It can lead to a very developed accepting nature, easygoing nature. And I think that's just a great way of working with the day. So with this sort of quasi-active, because the sun's in Aries, so we're focused on a lot of our personal needs and wants right now. And that's going to be, again, the new beginning. But with that active focus and then this internal receptivity, we do have Mercury trining up to Saturn today. So it is a grounded day, I feel like, especially for anything that does involve your mind, communication, and your routine as well. Can be quite constructive. So productive things, obviously, work, career, anything that does require construction or discipline, disciplined mind, disciplined communication, can go very well today. All right, so let's go ahead and break this down in more detail. All right, so there is the moon in Pisces, the sun shifting into Aries. So as you can see here, the moon is getting closer to the sun. They will conjunct later in the week for the new moon. So right now it is the ending phase. It is very much about clearing space. A really good analogy that I've heard for the balsamic phase is winter time. If you think about the cycle of the moon, and then you can relate this to the cycle of the sun and the earth, which is the seasons. When we have the new moon, it's kind of like spring, right? So spring's around the corner, but right now it's winter, right? It's a good time to rest. It's a good time to clear. And an analogy of a garden, this would be like clearing the garden bed right now. Clearing the garden beds in order to plant the new seeds during the new moon. So what that can mean for us personally is clearing emotions, clearing maybe literal things in our life during the balsamic phase. It can be the case. But as I always say, the first thing is internal. So it's about clearing emotions, about clearing past energy. And all in all, just as we bring more presence and more acceptance to our current situation or just the now moment, we're going to find, all this past lunar cycle stuff, this new beginnings from the past 27 days are just wanting to flow. They're wanting to be released. Now, some things we are going to take with us into the new cycle. Obviously, we've developed a lot of that Pisces energy, as I was saying, intuition, trust, acceptance, surrender. But there is, it is the clearing time. So allowing yourself the time to do that, the space, maybe getting some, time out from the routine or rest or meditation, things like that can be excellent during this phase. So with that being said, the sun has been shifting into Aries since last weekend. So we're more focused now on our personal needs, what we want, and just more vigor and even clarity to a degree. Even though Mercury is still in Pisces, Venus is in Pisces, when we're focused on things now, there's more clarity, more vigor. And so that's going to be the theme of the new beginning around the corner, which will pick up much more once the moon starts that lunar cycle, once Mercury gets back out of Pisces, and then Venus will be there for a while. All right, so that's the placements. In terms of the aspects, not a whole lot going on here today. Mercury is trining up to Saturn, though, good aspect. Good aspect for thinking, communication, and the routine, as I was saying. But Mercury is retrograde, so it is still very good to be as flexible as possible with the routine, with whatever we're using our minds for, or with whatever we're communicating or corresponding with. But so long as we are being flexible, and again, using this retrograde as a time of reworking ideas, rethinking ideas and things in our life, just being open to things changing and new information coming to light. With that, a trine up to Saturn is very grounding. So if you are reworking today, editing, redoing some things, writing things down, coming up with plans, it can be a very supportive time for that, because Saturn essentially gives us a very constructive and practical mind here, okay, making it very good for that, making it very good for, again, productive things, but anything that does require a bit of patience. We're willing to write things down, we're willing to maybe read a book, these things that take time, for example, but we're willing to be patient. We're willing to be disciplined with it. So however you want to channel that can be great, but I think it's going to happen very naturally with the trine. I think our minds will just be grounded, our communication's quite grounded, and again, the routine can actually flow quite easily with this trine. All right, so that's the day in a nutshell. Very simple, not a whole lot going on. I think the emphasis will be this Mercury Trine Saturn, that grounded energy, with this watery energy and ending phase type of energy. Very good for spiritual activities, clearing space for what is those new beginnings in Aries, a much more active time now around the corner. All right, so have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.